Howdy folks, Darren back with you, day number 5 of our second cut hay on this main hay field. One more time, this hay's ready.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer.
If you have a farm Maxx / Redlands baler and you have the electronic push button bale eject wiring harness for your baler, here's a little tip for you. I've got the push button mounted on my fender. It's magnetic. I'm gonna take the camera off of the tripod and get in here a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about. There's my push button, and for right now I've just got the wiring hanging. I've not finished routing it. I've got it mounted right there on my fender. Very easy spot to just reach over with your hand and hit the button when the bale's full. Okay, I let my wire come down and I'm gonna use some zip ties. You can see I've got a whole box of them, or tube of them here. I keep them with my baler. If those zip ties start getting low, I just buy more. Okay, very good to secure your wiring so it don't get caught on a wheel or a tire or around your PTO or something to damage this harness, because these things are not cheap. Okay, I just route it right down under. Okay, but here's what I wanted to show you. As you can see on my battery, okay, I've got plugs coming off of it. See it there? 2 wires to the negative and the positive. Comes down to a plug right there. Heavy gauge wire. And that is a plug for a trolling motor for a boat. Okay. On the other end of my wiring harness, you can see I've got electrical tape right here. I took barrel connectors and stripped down my wires and connected them with barrel connectors to this plug right there. And it plugs right there coming off my battery. When I'm ready to hook up my baler, all I gotta do is just plug this in. That's it. And of course you can see I've got a zip tie line there. I zip tie it to this brace so it don't come loose or can't fall and catch on anything. And I'll show you how I do the routing. All I'm gonna do is take my plug, I'm gonna run it right behind this brace for my radiator. I'm gonna pull this fusible link in there. Okay. I'm gonna hook this plug up. Very simple. There we go. I'm gonna push that in behind my battery real good. I'm gonna take a zip tie and I'm gonna run this right through there and around my wiring harness and give it a pull. There. Turn it to where my hood won't catch on it. There. That is secure. That's not coming off, and it's not gonna pull my plug off. Okay. I took 3 more zip ties. You can see them, and I put them together to make it one long one. Okay, I'm gonna put it around my axle. Okay, I'm gonna pull my wiring harness right in there, and I'm gonna zip tie this wiring harness to the top of this axle. Now I'm back here. This is the right side floorboard for my tractor. Okay. Gonna get a zip tie. You can see my floorboard has all these little holes in it to let mud and water, whatever it might be. I'm gonna pull this kind of tight. I'm gonna bring it around. just like this. Okay, here's my gas pedal. All right, with all these holes right in here, I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna reach under here. I'm gonna bring this zip tie back up through this hole and secure it. I'll pull the slack out of it. Right there. You can see my route. It goes right under to the top of my axle. And I keep it out a little bit from my engine for the heat coming off that engine, baling hay and things. All right. All right. I'm gonna come right in here. Any slack that I have left, I'm just gonna tuck it in right in here. As you can see, all I've done with the excess wire is I just kind of looped it around my differential lock right there, and it comes right up to my push button. Okay, I'm going to be raking first, so I'm just going to take the tag end of this harness, and I'm just going to loop it around my roll bar several times and stick a zip tie through it so it'll stay there till I'm done raking. Then everything's hooked up and ready for me to hook the baler. Very, very simple. That quick plug right there, that's the bomb. Hooked very easily right onto the battery terminals. Right back, ready to go. Push button, harness goes back, and I've just got it wrapped around my roll bar with a simple zip tie, holding it there till I'm ready to use it. All I have to do is just take a knife, pop that zip tie off, route it back to my baler with some zip ties on top of my drawbar, ready to bale. Hope this helps someone. Very, very simple procedure to wire up your wiring harness for your baler. I don't leave this on my tractor. That's why the quick connect trolling motor plug. I can take this thing on and off really fast. Take my pocket knife, pop just a couple of zip ties off, roll that harness up, put it in with the baler. That's where it stays. Have our moisture tester with us. Per usual for our routine, I'm going to bale one bale, check the moisture. I'm almost positive it's ready. I've been wrong before. So here we go, let's get started. Let's make one bale and check our bale. All right, our first bale is done, and I'm telling you what, so far with this Tytan baling twine so far is awesome. All right, man, it's some good looking hay. Let's check our moisture level. Fingers crossed, because dry down's been tough. 14.5. We're going to check it in a lot of different places. 16.6. 14.5. All right, we're good. We're going to keep baling. Man, that is a good looking bale of hay. I'm not kidding you. All right, we'll check one more somewhere else in the field. the next day. We finished our baling yesterday evening. We baled right up until dark, and we got done. Some of the best hay customers anybody could ever ask for. We had some folks bought this hay, and that was really good hay. And those folks left here with 2 big truckloads of hay on a big flatbed, stacked pretty high. And I was totally impressed with the fine lady that came with her husband to get the hay, and her stacking abilities was impressive. She could stack that hay in that truck like nobody's business. And matter of fact, before they left, I asked her if I ever had to haul some hay, could I hire her? She was that good at it. And can you hear the rain on the roof? Thank you, Lord. It is raining. I'm here in the edge of the barn. The camera's actually sitting a little bit under the roof, and it is raining. I don't know if you can see it. Video cameras does not show up rain real well. Let me zoom. What a blessing. It's raining on our hay field that we just cut 6 days ago. We lowered the cut on our drum mower to 2 spacers. I am very pleased with the results of that for second and third and subsequent cuttings after your first cut. My goodness. And granted, it's been cut 6 days, so, and I figured about cutting it down to 2 spacers from 6 would add about a week's worth of growth to our stubble, to our hay to regrow, about another week. And that's about right. It's been 6 days since it was cut. Of course, there was hay on top of it, and then we tedded and raked and baled, so even under that hay, it's had about a week. And it's now about to the point where it would have been cut probably with 6 spacers. So fantastic. I think you can look out there over and see it. Great day. It looks good. The results of our hay cutting was fantastic. There was a lot more hay in this field than I anticipated. I don't know why, that as much as I was out in this field, it just didn't, I don't know. Was I walking around like a zombie or what? I don't know. It did not register on me how thick, exactly how thick that hay was. Everybody, if you follow along with our channel, and most people in the Southeast, for first cutting of 2024 reported record numbers of bales. Just the hay grew so big and so tall from all the rain, and nobody could cut until it was past prime, and it equaled steamy, lower quality hay, but a darn lot of it. Our yield for second cutting surpassed our first cutting by 5 bales. We got 5 more on this second cutting than we did our first cutting, and it was prime hay. The folks that got that hay, they loaded it out of the field, and they are hard-working folks, and they done a fantastic job getting that out of the field. We sold it to them right out of the field. They were here to load it in the truck, so it didn't have to sit out overnight. We didn't even have to haul it to the barn. They loaded it in their trucks a couple of trips and hauled it straight to their barn for their animals for the winter. So, man, I'm telling you, for every hay farmer had customers like those folks, everybody would be walking around with a smile on their face. Great people, appreciate them. Doing post-baling cleanup on our equipment. Man, this baler's filthy. Today, before I got it backed in, it had all that hay dust all over it, and then it got, before I could get it all the way back in the barn, it rained just a little bit, and got all that hay dust, is sticky, messy all over it. It's took me a little while to get it clean. I've said it before, if you watched our prepping the baler video, you know that this back cover is a problem on these balers with hay packing in there. And I have not taken it off, but I did raise the door and got back at it. Looked up under there, and there's hay packed in there, but it's not bad yet. After the next baling, it probably will be, and I'll have to take it off. But there's hay in there, but it's not just packed in there like sardines tight. But you can see on the ground here, I'll take the camera off and show you all this chaff and hay that come out of this baler when you're done, that hangs up in between bars and rollers and things of that nature, and every little crack and crevice it can get in. It's important to keep all that stuff cleaned out. There's how much come out of it. Unreal. On the baling twine, a lot of things to report on after this second cutting, topics we've brought up that we need to finish addressing. You can see we used almost a whole roll of this Tytan 16,000 green baling twine. I'm happy to report this is now my go-to Sisal twine. This stuff's fantastic. I had to get off the tractor and assist the twine 2 different times, and I'll tell you why. The wind, we didn't have bad wind, but we had just a breeze yesterday, a little bit of a breeze. And one time I noticed the tag end right here, I noticed one time that it was laying way up here on this front cover. The wind had kind of caught it, a breeze. 2 different times I saw that, and when the twine arm fell, it just stayed down and it didn't get the twine. When I shut everything down, cut the PTO off, cut the baler off, and got off the tractor and walked back here and looked, this twine, even though the arm was down, the twine was kind of sticking up, like up this way, not down toward the rollers. 2 different times. That's the only issue I had. Stuff works phenomenal. And I had those issues happen with jute twine, with the Brazilian gold twine, with poly twine. That in and of itself is not just a twine issue with this twine. I had windy conditions, so that jute twine kept blowing out. It's so light and weak. The wind catches it really easy. And I had it blow out of the port there a lot, that I had to get off and shut everything down and take my fingers and pull that jute twine and stick it back down in between that roller and that bale of hay twine turning in there. Well, not while it's turning. Let me rephrase that. Just between the bale and the roller while it's all shut off, and then get back on the tractor and turn it on. You can see we used almost a whole roll, between 10 and 15 bales left on that roll, as you can see, and it fed out of our bucket like you wouldn't believe, perfectly, no issues. This is now my go-to twine for these Farm Maxx balers, no doubt. Thanks for being with us here as we cut our main hayfield for the second cutting. Tried to bring you along for the process of beginning to end, from mowing the hay to tedding, dry down, raking, and baling, and clean up when we're done. Just got done washing the Kubota. It was dirty. The hay turned out better than expected. This gives us really high hopes for our third cutting. We're hoping to get a third cutting off of this main hay field and a fourth cutting off of the test plot. We've done 2 cuttings on the test plot so far, and it's ready to cut again. As soon as we can catch that window of no rain for dry down, we're going to cut that test plot again for third cutting. Hopefully by 1st of October we can get a 4th cutting. Our reclaimed hay field, I'm not sure about yet. I know we're going to get 2 cuttings off of it, maybe 3. It's progressing really good in places, not so good in other places. There's still a deer tongue problem back there, and it will only make mediocre hay. The rest of our grounds will make premium hay. This turned out really good. We got some really nice bales out of this second cutting off of our main hay field, and very, very pleased. I say, like a broken record, I'm sure people get tired of hearing me talk about it, but quantity is not our goal here. Our goal is quality. Now, that being said, you want to get as much of that good stuff as you can get. To totally disregard yield would be lunacy. I mean, that would just be crazy. You want to get as much of it as you can, because our small family farm and our hay business is just that. It's a business. And we want to give our customers the best product we can give them for a fair price. We don't want to retire off of one season's worth of cuttings. And I've seen some hay price that was, I just shook my head and like, wow, they must be wanting to retire after they get done with this. But I'm not going to give that hay and our sweat equity and all of our work away either. And a good customer's not going to expect you to do that. They know what you got in it. They know the work that goes into it, and the equipment costs and fertilizer costs and all that stuff. They realize that. And again, I don't want to sound like a broken record from this, but we got the best customers in this state. They're fantastic. The sun's back out. We got a good shower a while ago, and we've got the baler cleaned up. The next thing we're going to do, we have got to cut our test plot as soon as we can catch about a 5-day window. Very pleased with 2 spacers under that drum mower. We're going to cut the test plot with it at that cut height. May end up leaving it there. I just don't know yet. Never say never, but it looks really good. Really pleased with the cut we got back here with it at 2 spacers. So thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it. Come back with us and we'll be cutting again as soon as we get some weather window for proper dry down for the test plot. We really appreciate you, and thank you for all the great comments we get on our channel, all of our subscribers. Y'all are 2 thumbs up, top notch. I've said it before and I'll say it again, we got the best subscribers on YouTube. Thank you very much, and we appreciate you. God bless you and your family, and hope y'all have a fantastic day.